Thanks for tuning into this episode of Impact Insanity Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about European mounts and a cheap, easy, effective way to do that, utilizing a black trash bag and water. That's it. Um, I did European mounts using beetles for about 5 years. They were very effective. They were great. Um, skin the head out, drop it into the beetles. The following day, it was clean. It was awesome. Unfortunately, I don't do that anymore. So now I've got to come up with other ways to do that. I know I've heard if you have fire ants, you can put a skull on a fire ant hill. They'll clean it up. Living in Ohio, don't have any fire ants, so obviously there's also the boiling method, and that's a very effective way that a lot of people have been doing it for years. One of the problems with that method is, though, it does indeed cause some skull shrinkage. So for anyone that's out there that's bear hunting, that's getting a score off of their size of their skull, you're obviously going to lose a little bit on that. So, and then also you get the problem with the plates on the bone separating, and then oftentimes you have to basically super glue it all back together. So the way that I've been doing them here recently is I just take a black contractor trash bag, put about 2 gallons of water in it, put the head down in it, and then hang it from a tree. Just let the sun hit it and heat it up, and the heating and all that stuff eventually causes everything to fall off of it. So obviously I skin that out first. I've had these hanging here. I had that bag and this bag, which has a coyote and a fox in it. Probably about 2 months. They've been done for a very long time. I'm just now getting around to do them. If you can see, I've got the antlers out of the bag up here. Reason for that, two reasons. Really, one, if it's down in the bag and the wind's blowing or whatever, those antlers can poke holes in it, and then obviously allowing your water to evaporate out. And two, if the antlers sit down in the water, they're going to soak up that water. It's going to darken them. Once you take them out of the water, they're going to dry. It's going to go back to normal. One quick thing, if you're doing rams or anything like that that has actually a horn versus an antler, you're going to want to, doing this way, leave it sit outside, and after a few days it'll basically start to rot enough that you can slide the sheaths off of whether it be the ram, longhorn, whatever it may be. You don't want to put that down inside of the bag of water, because those sitting in water will deteriorate as well. So like I said, I've got a fox and a coyote in here, the skulls obviously, a couple of them that I trapped this year, and I decided I want to go ahead and keep their skulls. So there again, a couple gallons of water, dropped them down in the bag, tied it up, hung it in a tree. Simple. I'm going to go ahead and put some gloves on before I pull these out of here, because they are a little bit ripe, if you will. Do kind of smell. So what I'll do after I take them out of here is I'll put them in some like Dawn dish soap and water, and let them soak in there for a day or two, and that'll just help to get the smell out of them. So when you open the bag up, you can see that there is still tiny little spots of meat on the skull. And here in a minute I'll bring it all in so you can see that. But there it is. I mean, this was literally, I skinned this coyote out and left all the meat on it, eyes, everything, dropped it down in there, and there you go. There's still a tiny bit of brain matter in there, but a real easy way to get rid of that is a power washer. Just set it down, you can power wash it off real quick, and that'll get rid of anything else on there. Some of the teeth will loosen and come out, not a big deal. So when you dump your stuff out, be very careful, because like I said, there's going to be some teeth in there. Super glue them right back in. Nobody will ever know the difference. And looking at the skull, it doesn't really cause the splitting and the cracking that you see by boiling. And don't get me wrong, there's people that have been boiling for years and years, and they can do a great job doing it. I just personally, every time I've done it, I've had some issues with separation. So, but basically what we'll do then is, I'll leave that out so we can zoom in on that here in a second. But yeah, so that was fully eyeballs, meat, everything, and pow, now it's like that. So, like I said, I'm going to put that in water, Sophie water, and I'll let that sit for a couple days. And there again, that's just to get the smell out of there. from here you've got two different methods, two ways you can go. One, we can paint this to whiten it, or two, we can do it a natural way, whitening. To do that method, when I did beetles, what I would use was I had a big tank that was filled with just water and Dawn dish soap, a lot of dish soap. I would heat the water up almost to a boil, drop the skull down in it, and I had a fish pond pump in it, so it kept the water circulating, kept the water going, over and through the bone, and that really got a lot of the grease out. So, and I would leave that in there 3 or 4 days. I'd go out once a day, heat the water up, dump it in, and let it cycle. So that's one way to get the grease out. I know that there's some people that will use like acetone, stuff like that, that will as well get the grease out. With the method that I've done, by using the bag and letting it hang in there, it's going to be a little harder to degrease, because any of the grease that was in the skull gets in the water, and obviously it's laying in that grease, it's soaking in there, so it's going to be in the bone, a little bit harder to get out. I'm not saying it can't be done. That's why for these skulls, what I'm going to do is, once they're done in the soapy water to get the smell out, I'm going to take them, let them dry for about a day, and then paint them. One of the very, very important things that when you're using a skull that has not been degreased and you're going to paint it, this Kilz paint, that's the first coat that I will put on there, because it's able to evenly go over the skull, and it won't fisheye. If you try and paint it, the first time with the regular paint, you'll get little fish eyes in it because of the grease in the bone, so the paint won't adhere to that real well. So if you use the Kilz paint, go over it with that, let it dry. Sometimes I'll do a couple coats of it. That paint will, it'll paint evenly, it won't fish eye, and then what you do is you take your, flat white, bone white, whatever paint you have, go over it with that flat white paint. Now that paint's going to, adhere to it, and there you go. So here is, and I'll come in closer in a minute, but here's a coyote skull I did this exact same way. It's a little dirty, it's been in the barn, so, but that's your finished product from doing this, and literally the cost of a trash bag, a couple gallons of water, and spray paint. Pretty simple. And while I'm talking about the different ways of whitening, I can show you real quick on a couple deer that I have. The first one I'm going to show you, this deer was a management deer I harvested, I don't know, several years ago. I did this one utilizing beetles, and I went ahead and did the Dawn dish soap and water, and then to whiten it, which I guess I kind of skipped that part. To whiten it, I used peroxide, like a 20 or 40% peroxide, mix it with baby powder, so you make a paste. I would put like that blue painter's tape around the antlers to make sure I didn't get any of that peroxide on there, because it will bleach the color out of here if you get it on the antler. But so I'd paint it on with that, let it sit for a day or so until it dried, and then take a brush. Then you can brush that the powder off of it, and you can reuse your baby powder that way, just to save you a little money if you're doing multiple skulls. So that one was done with the dish soap, water, degreasing, and peroxide whitening. Over the years, you can see it's kind of yellowed a little bit because there's still a little bit of grease in the bone. It is what it is, but that's the doing it with the peroxide. Next is this deer, and there again we'll do close-ups on them. This one was done with beetles, and it was painted. Same thing, tape up the antlers, and then go ahead and paint it using the Kilz paint first, and then just a flat white. And then there's always just the natural way of doing it, of just leaving it outside. This is a head that I found some time ago, and it's pretty white, basically, and it was just laying out in the woods. Mother Nature did its thing. So If you're really wanting to, you can do the method of getting all the meat off of it this way, and then just hang it up in a tree and let the sun bleach it over time. Obviously, as you can see, it's going to bleach the antlers out, and of course the squirrels and mice will eventually find it and start chewing on it. But so as you can see with the coyote skull, there's still, just a little bit of meat, but for the most part it's completely cleaned off. And there is the coyote skull that I did utilizing the paint. And then going up, there is the deer that I did the natural way, if you will. Followed by the one that we found outside. As you can see, again, the antlers are bleached as well, but it's pretty white. And then we have got the one that that I did painting. So, 3 different ways to whiten. So there you have it, folks. Easy way to do a quick, easy, cheap European mount using a bag and water and spray paint. That's it. Pretty simple. And there again, different ways to whiten everything. I'm sure there's some of you out there that have your own, ways you do different things as well. So thanks for joining us. Hopefully this was somebody was able to pick up something from this. And yes, that is a corn bag in my Polaris. I may be feeding the deer by a couple of my stands. Don't judge me.